Right, so as you're all probably aware, Stable Diffusion 2 has been released, and now 2.1 because Stable Diffusion 2 was a disaster. As always, it was implemented in Nightcafe. And it didn't take people long to discover that it was a nightmare, a disaster. A bit of a shame, really. Don't know what happened there. I think maybe they were a little bit overly cautious, because for a company that said it was all going to be open source, yada yada yada, when they released it and it was absolutely shocking, which it was, everybody was well annoyed. So not really sure what happened there, but they've kinda rectified it, and I say kinda rectified it because that's basically all they've done, kind of. So let's have a wee look. Now, I've done quite a few things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into... Damn, I don't know what the link is for this. What is the link for this broadcast? Maybe the link should have been broadcast to my server somewhere. I'm sure it will come up shortly at some point. Maybe if Twitch is broadcasting, that is. Oh, that's not the one I want. No, it's my YouTube link I'm after. Where is it? Stream settings. Stream URL. Right. So does that mean that's it? No. Sorry guys, I'll be right with you once I figure out how to get the stream details for this. Where the hell is it? Don't know, maybe that... No, that can't be it. Oh, for fuck's sake. I can't find the current link for my streaming. Where is it? That can't be it, that isn't it? Oh, God, this pisses me off to no end. That can't be it. Right, this is it. Right, copy that. God, this pisses me off. There we go. Got it now. Right, now we can get on with it. Sorry about that. Right, so the recent implementations of Stable Diffusion in NightCafe have been good and bad, because Stable Diffusion 2 was a nightmare. Hey Godfried, how you doing? Stable Diffusion 2, I think Stability AI kind of overdone it a wee bit with the restrictions they placed on it, and pretty much everybody complained about it. So they released 2.1, which is a bit better. There's some cool implementations now, things like multiple prompts, negative prompts, which is great news. However, I've not really done that much on it yet, so let's go and have a wee gander and see what's what. So first of all, let's just go into some of my, what's the challenge for today? Liminal spaces. What is a liminal space? What does that mean? Liminal spaces. These are places that can typically be described as abandoned and oftentimes empty. Right. So, now is it in my collections? Probably not. It's going to be miles away. Right, we'll just come up with something new. So a liminal space. So let's, as always, I'm very good, Godfried, thanks very much. Just chilling out, having a little beer, making some AI art, or at least testing the Stable Diffusion on Nightcafe versions 2 and 2.1. And I'll probably mess around with Midjourney and that later as well. But so I'm just going to use the challenge on Nightcafe to test out Stable Diffusion. So let's go for, so it's liminal spaces. Right. We'll call that. Right, but I'll do my usual. I'll go and find that really cool page. Oh, wrong one. That has all the artists. If you've been on this stream before, you'll know that I like to mess around with weird artists, just to see what I can come up with. And I always kind of just scroll through this for a wee bit, because I've used loads of the ones on the top. But first of all, so right, liminal space, art by in a minute. Let's go for abandoned inner city train station. Let's try that. Liminal space, and we'll throw in some, tell you what, we'll just use, to make it easy for those that use Nightcafe. And I like using this as well, because it saves me having to think of all the names and stuff. So I'll just start, as you'll know, I always start small, and then I kind of try and build up to see what's going on. Right, we'll go for let's get one of the punks maybe. Right, we'll use good old post-apocalyptic. Put my comma in there because it's different to a space. And I'll put something like, oh look, liminal space is in there already. I will put in something, I'll just put detailed. That'll do for the time being. So let's have a look. So art by, right, who are we going to use? So if you've not seen this site before, awesome. If you want me to post it into the chat, just give me a shout. It's a great site, this. Now, I like looking for weird stuff. So the subject of the image that we're creating at the moment is a train station or an abandoned train station. So I'm going to look for artists that don't, the tags here, the type of art that they perform or they've created in the past or whatever, doesn't really match what you would expect for that. And then I'm going to try and find an artist that's very different to them. So we could start with something like this. So like a children's illustration cartoon maybe. And it does make a difference if the first name is where the second name should be and vice versa. So I'll do that. Right, I'll start with that. I'll take liminal space out of there. And I'll do that. We'll go to the end. I'll do that and we'll pop that in there and I'll just put a wee full stop there. Right, so I guess if I'm going to be doing stuff about stable diffusion, I'll just start with 1.5 and then we'll work our way up and we can see what the differences are. Hi Jareer, how you doing? Nice to see you here. Right, I'll just leave everything like that, except I always do 16 images, and this is important, so because it does change the overall image. So I'm going to go for widescreen. It just happens to be my favourite. And then we are going to see how that comes out. We are going to wait on that, and in the meantime I will just copy this. Right, there we got a pretty quick and interesting results. Let's go up here because it's better to see. Right, so I'm loving these already. That's great, that one. Right, let's have a proper look, see what we got. Now that, that's pretty awesome, that is. So it's a nice result. That's, pretty much what we asked for, I would say. It hasn't really latched on. Well, there you go. That's an inner city for sure. So that looks pretty good. I suppose in a funny kind of way they could all be inner city. Maybe, just on the outskirts. Interesting, that one's not got a train. Did that one have a train? Nah, cool. So yeah, these are pretty cool. Pretty much what I love, the cone. Pretty much what I asked for, really. Yeah, pretty cool. Now that was 1.5. Godfried, so it's difficult to explain in words. I've done a couple of videos on my YouTube channel that explains the difference, but what I can say, let me just duplicate this. So you may have seen stuff like this before. Have you seen that? You seen prompts like that? So I done a video on stuff like, the double dots, the commas, a space, and what transpired was those double dots there are just the same as having a space. So if you have a space like that, the double dots, it comes out exactly the same. A comma, I guess the only way for me to kind of try and explain it, it's better watching the video because you see the outcome. It's more like art by Stan Berenstain, as well as an abandoned inner city train station, as well as post-apocalyptic. So it's almost it's not an and, if you like. So it's not it's not abandoned inner city train station and post-apocalyptic and detailed. It's as well as. It makes it kind of, for me, I think it tries to use, with a comma, it tries to use everything to create the scene. Whereas when you use other stuff, like a space, it can interpret to mean and. So, like if you do something like the moon comma, a star, comma, a nebula, comma, deep space, it will give you that as an overall, image. Whereas if you do the moon, space, or double dots, the sun, space, or double dots, that equates to the moon, and that's the best thing to do is watch the video, and it will be easier for you to understand. However, I don't know if that's the case now in 2.1, so we can maybe test that in a minute. So what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to change anything except pop it up to 2 and just create again. There's one of the things that you've got to be aware. If are you using Stable Diffusion through Nightcafe? Oh, nah, I'm not interested. I'm not paying for something that I do for free and just for the hell of it. I'm not interested in getting 1 million viewers and making money off YouTube. So wife coach streams, thanks but no thanks. This is Stable Diffusion 2. It's done it. I guess it's done what I've asked for, but it's, I wouldn't say it's different, is all I can say, really. But it's got some nice stuff going on here, some people there. So it's done what I've asked of it. And maybe this isn't the best example, because it's done a reasonable job. But to be honest, I kind of expect more from, because I'm going to build on it, and this to me is more of what I expected from Stable Diffusion. So let's just go back in here, duplicate this, and we'll bang it up to Stable Diffusion 2. Oh no, not this. Stable Diffusion 2.1. Again, we'll leave everything the same, including the seed, and we'll just see what happens. Now, by all accounts, this should be more accurate. However, so what we could have probably found is if we come back here and I open up this name, it gives you an example of the type of art this Stan Berenstein produces, or it should do at some point. Right. So where's Stan gone then? Come on. B-E-R. There he is. Well, it's not giving us anything, is it? That's interesting. That might not. Ah, look. Not recognised. I picked the worst bloody artist in the... Ugh, right. So right, let's change it for this fella here. I will just leave it there now. I'll show you that stuff later. So, 2.1. Now I think this is going to come down to subjective taste here. Is this better or worse than the other two? It looks proper abandoned. All three of them, in my opinion, have fulfilled the prompt. Now, part of the problem might have been that I've used an artist that it doesn't really recognise, so I am going to change it. And I'll just do 2 again. I'll just duplicate this, and I'll do 2. Cut that. And I would get a different result if I had his name round the other way as well. Right, blah 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 blah. Right, is that still on 2? 2.1. I'll do 2.1. Go for it. But depending on how you want to look at this, you know, all three of them have matched the prompt, I would say. Let's see what 2.1 does with the artist's name. And I think this one was, what one was this? So 2 was where they removed the artists, seemingly, or a lot of artists. Thomas Hart Benton. Which, you know, if the artist is requested to be taken away from to be removed from the data sets, then fair enough. Right, so the 2.1 with the artist, see, now I think that's a big difference. But again, you know, is it vastly better? Well, it's a bit more coherent, almost a bit of realism. I don't know if that's the artist or not, but let's have a look. So what's this artist? Let's see what their art's like. Well, realism scene, I guess, maybe. Is it in there anywhere? Perhaps. But, you know, they've all kind of done exactly what it says on the tin, I suppose. And that new one I just did, let's have a look. Now this looks more like that guy's art, doesn't it? So that's more like this. So is this the 2.1? So this is Stable Diffusion 2, and that looks pretty good to me, to be fair. If we're aiming for that guy's art, you know. Artistic style. That's kind of got it. Let me just duplicate this and do it with 2.1. And then we'll get on to a wee bit more complex stuff. Cheers. But funny enough, they all kind of did what I asked. But what we're looking at here is, you know, Stable Diffusion from 1.5. Have, you know, to 2, you're expecting some kind of benefit, I suppose. Hi JX3 Gallery, Jeffrey J Jenkins. How you doing? Nice to see you again. I think you've been here before. So yeah, you kind of expect when something goes up in a number, you expect, you know, improvements. That didn't happen with 2, because, well, I suppose it did. In some instances it was more coherent and there was a bit of realism in there, but of course everybody's got used to using these tools now and using different artists to kind of grab their style. So when there was a big in 2, when they had kind of removed a lot of that, there was a bit of an uproar, really, and it kind of broke everybody into two different camps. There was you shouldn't be doing this, and you know, we've got used to this, we should be able to use artist styles and names, blah blah blah. And then there was the other camp that was saying, well, if you can't create AI art without using artists' names and styles, then, you know, you're rubbish, basically. A wee bit of elitism kind of popped up there, which I thought was hilarious. So 2.1 has kind of nailed that guy's style for sure, and it's pretty coherent. It's, you know, that is pretty awesome. It's very different to what I've to the other ones, but they've all got their own, you know, their own little I'm not really sure what's going on there, but they've all got their own nuances, you know. So it's a case of, as it's always been with this stuff, even from a way back when it was just artistic and Nightcafe, it's about using the tool for the bits that you like and ignoring it for everything else. So this is really polished, you know, and it's very accurate to that style. Whereas, you know, if you're entering something into this competition of liminal spaces, you know, these, you know, that's grotty and grimy, that is a liminal space, you know, that is. So it all depends on your aesthetic and what aesthetic you're looking for, should I say. Yeah, Jeffrey, if that's, I assume that's your name. Yeah, Stable Diffusion 2 is a bit of a nightmare, to be fair. That's why they've released 2.1. But it's a bit of a nightmare because it takes more work. I think we're all a bit spoiled, really, because it's got to the stage now where, you know, you can type in 4 words and you're getting every result is in the ballpark. You know what I mean? Every single result is close. You know, when I started this in February, it took, you know, it was taking 30, 40, 50 credits just to get close, and the images weren't that coherent. And then Coherent came along and tidied that up a bit, then Stable Diffusion. So we've all become a bit, maybe dare I say, a bit lazy and spoiled, expecting, you know, the best of the best straight away. If you want that, if you want it to be easy and you want it really accurate and stunning, use Midjourney. But Stable Diffusion will be back again. So yeah, you can see the differences there for sure. You've got, you know, that's 1.5. That's Stable Diffusion 2, and that's 2.1, I think. 2.1, and then the same again with a different artist, you know, and the results, there's a, you know, they're shit hot. So now let's create something else, and I'll show you how to use the multiple prompting, which is a new addition for Stable Diffusion 2.1. So those of you that have been using Nightcafe for a while will be aware of what this is, because it was there for artistic and coherent. Let's use we'll use an artist that we can definitely tell is being used. We all know what Tim Burton stuff looks like. Kemi, no, I changed the name. Nice to see you. Well, I hope I remember to change the name. I'm sure I did. So yeah, it's not called Halloween Stream anymore. Although, depends where you're coming. No, you're coming for YouTube, so no, I'm sure I changed it. Anyway, nice to see you. We'll use, what shall we use? A dark liminal space, seeing as that's the thing for the challenge. A dark liminal space featuring ghosts and ghouls. I'll just add in some modifiers. What kind of ghosts and ghouls do we want? Dark Academy. Should we go biopunk anime? Let's just leave it at that for the crack. Right, so I'll run this quickly. We'll use 2.1. I've not gone into them. I might do them later if I remember. So let's see what we get just with that. Just while it's, I've been trying to create a tattoo for my girlfriend. Very specific. But of course she's a woman, never happy. I hope there's no woman I've just insulted. Right, what do we get? So 2.1. Right, it's clearly Tim Burton. Interesting, it's given me loads and loads of people. Now, what's feature? Oh god, I even spelled featuring wrong. Right, so let's duplicate it. So featuring ghosts and ghouls. Right, let me just duplicate that for a second because I want to check something. What is biopunk? Ugh, I can't remember. but I do have a website. If I go, where is it? Bookmarks, bookmark manager, punk, anything punk modifiers. Right, let's have a look at that. What did you say? Biopunk. Right, let's see. Biopunk. Biopunk, there you go. So, oh, it doesn't really tell you what it is though, does it? Oh, that doesn't help. It shows you what it looks like. I guess it must be biodiversity, something like that. Biology, something like that. Well, because it's got a kind of nature thing going on here, and there's nature kind of growing over the buildings. You know what, Kemi? I'll just ask Google. Biopunk is a subgenre of science fiction that focuses on biotech. There you go. Pretty self-explanatory, really, when you think about it, I suppose. Right. So, what was I going to do? Oh, I wanted to see the creation. Right. So let's say we like that, but there's what can we say? Too many people. Well, so I'm going to add another prompt, and I'm going to make this a negative prompt, and it's going into negative numbers here. Let's just put it to -3. So let's make sure heads. I don't know what that'll do yet, if it's going to take away all the heads. Heads, bad hands, bad faces, bad lighting. Oh. Pixel, bad pixels, signatures. Now, with it being negative, it might say negative bad pixels, so it might leave them in. Can't remember. It's been that long since I've used them. Let's see what happens. So I'm hoping it takes away some of the heads, because there's quite a lot more there than I was expecting. But this is the first of me using negative prompts since they've put it into stable. Yeah, it's kind of done what I asked, I think. So it's took away a lot of the heads, and I still don't know why this is. I can't find a reasonable explanation, but seemingly the act of using a negative prompt on stable Diffusion 2, in fact, I'm not even sure if it's still if it is the case with 2.1. I haven't seen anything that says it isn't, but they said definitely for stable Diffusion 2, if you use negative prompts, you get a better output, and that's clearly better in my opinion. But is it? It's definitely the images are more coherent, I would say, but they're a bit ski-whiff. But that could be the negative prompting causing some problems there. Simply just like human error. That's a cracker. That's a nice image. That's pretty cool as well. I like that. Not so much. Right, so I asked it to take away a lot of the heads. It's done that. It seems to have taken away, some of the pixelation. Well, there's not really one in there. No, yeah, okay. So it's tidied it up a bit. A lot of the heads have been removed. So I think the best way to test further is, where's that one? Let's make that the main one, and in fact, tell you what I'll do, because I don't really like doing it like that. I'm gonna download this image. Now, you can create, you can use this to create that as a single image, and then just do it like that. I'm going to use it as a starting image. Ghoul starts image. Right, and I'll just duplicate start images. Right, so that's now a start image. Now, remember, it's not just for negative weighting, but we are working on negative weighting at the moment, so we'll see what we can do. And it's never been as much as 3 before either. Enjoy the gym. Have fun. Thanks for popping in, Kemi. So yeah, it used to only be plus or negative 1. It's gone up to 3, and I believe when the developers for Nightcafe implemented this, they told us that Stable Diffusion or Stability AI say that the best way to use it is plus or minus 2. So I don't know why there's a 3. I believe it can go up to 10. Yeah, I just do it when I feel like it, Kemi. Maybe I should make a schedule. It might be better for people. You know what I'll do? After I'll do it now. In fact, after this, I'll put a poll on the YouTube channel for what days and what time people will prefer it, and then I'll see if I can do it then. So yeah, enjoy the gym. So we can use this as a start image, and we can use these prompts as a plus or a minus. So the way that we used to use them back in the artistic coherent days was to double up on the prompt. So say that we really wanted loads of ghosts. So we would have a prompt that said ghosts. Spooky ghosts, scary ghosts, and using the fact that we've said 3 ghosts there, we would pop that up normally to +1. I'll put it to +2, and then we would hope that that would reinforce the ghost, which it did. That's the way it worked back then. You couldn't. We did have -1, and you could say, so is there something in here that we can try and get rid of? I don't really know what to call these. Let's try a -2, and what can we choose? Anime. I'll just say anime. I'll go anime. Did I use anime or did I use manga? Anime. I'll go anime and anime character. Let's see if it achieves that. Now we might be trying to be a bit too clever here. By the way, if you've got any questions, just ask and I'll see if I can help. Just type them in the chat and I'll try and have a look. Right, let's see what we've got. As it became less anime, definitely. But it knew what I was asking for. It's kind of got a bit scary. It's kind of weird. It has kind of done it in some of them. What the hell is that in there? Look. That's really realistic, that is. But as you can see, you can get all kinds of weird results. It's why I always use 16 as well, because I like to see all the different results. Like, what's going on there? But yeah, but we've probably gone a bit far. because we're asking for anime here, then we're trying to take it away here, and we're trying to reinforce ghosts. Has it reinforced ghost? I don't know. There's more than one image there and there, so it might have interpreted it as that. So it's a bit weird, to say the least. But let's see if we can just create something simple. Let me see if I can find one of my creations. What we got here? Yeah, nah, just something simple. Let's use that. Right, how simple is that? Simple? Not really, but we'll use it anyway. Might get some nice results, right? Right, of a super being living in the fifth. Right, so we'll try and use the negative prompts to make sure that his face is good and his hands are good. So bad hands, improper hand shapes, irregular hands, hands with more than 5 fingers, bad fingers, misshaped hands. Right, so that's quite a lot. We'll go to just go to -2. I'm going to go to -1.5, I think, and I'm going to add another prompt, and I'm going to go again -1.5, and we'll go for bad face, disproportionate face, facial features. Did I spell disproportionate right? Disproportionate. Probably not. Disproportionate facial features. Skewed facial features. Right, let's leave it at that. Right, we'll do that, and then the next one I'll try and... Right, well, we can have a look at it and see if we increase anything. So I'll leave it at this. I'll put it to 2.1, and I'll leave everything else, and we'll see what we get. Bloody thing. Nips my box, that does. Although it's well handy. Can't turn it off though. Right. So with any luck, we should get a semi-decent result, hopefully. And just to be cheeky, can you guys give me a Y or an N for any of you that use Midjourney? Do any of you use Midjourney? No, nobody's talking. Okay, fair enough. Right, so what did we get? Did we get anything? Uh-oh. It's taking a while, that's never a good sign. Especially when it's stable diffusion, it's normally pretty quick. I'll just log into their website and see what's what. Into the Dream Booth. Right. How do you put in your negative prompts in here? 2.1 clip guidance off. We'll leave it on that. We'll put it up to 9 and I'll just put that in. I don't know how to negative prompt, there must be some text, bugger. Multi-prompting is disabled for this prompt, why is that then? Right, so use a pipe. Wow, that's still no coming back. What is going on with this? Did it say how to negative prompt? Right, so if we do this, that, and go colon and then numerical values. So colon minus 1.5 pipe, oh bugger, that in, colon minus 1.5, I think that's it. Oh you bugger, my 5 is buggered because I smashed my keyboard up earlier on this afternoon, but the less we hear about that the better. So what is going on with this? Doesn't it look like a super being to me? It's still no doing that, it's having a wee problem there. Now why is that, I wonder? It seems to have gone a bit flaky. Which is a bit disconcerting. I wonder why it's done that. Right, just for shits and giggles, I may have to report something. So if you want to see I can show you the Midjourney outcome of the 5th dimensions, but there's no negatives or anything like that, it's just the basic prompt. Pretty neat, huh? Bit of crappiness going on there, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That eye's pretty like, ugh, spooky. But yeah, pretty cool. Right, so it looks like there's a problem. I shall just go and report. How long's that been going on for now? At least 10 minutes anyway. 10 minutes. Right, so we're having a wee problem now. I wonder if it's my prompt. the good, the bad, and the ugly. In the style of this guy. Nah, let's find something daft. Figuratism. What is this guy been up to? Right, okay, that looks pretty cool. Simon Birch. Art by Simon Birch. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Western vibe. What was his name? Sergio Leone, is it? The good, the bad, and the ugly. Sergio Leone. Copy, copy, copy. Try that. Right, and we'll try 2.1. See if it's a problem with 2.1 or not. Sugar. Bloody mouse. I reckon there's a problem. Oh, maybe not. Something to do with those prompts. Isn't that interesting? Right, the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you're too young to have seen it, watch it. It's a cracking film. Good old Clint Eastwood. Right, so it looks like it's got something to do with the negative prompts. That's what I would say. Tested Stable Diffusion v 2.1 without additional prompts, and it works. So additional neg and pause prompts causing an issue. So that kinda screws up what I was wanting to do for testing then, doesn't it really? Because that ain't coming. Okay. That's a shame. That's kind of buggered that up. Did Dream Studio bring anything through in the end? Invalid argument. What's that? Well, it gave me alright results, but, you know, nothing compared to Midjourney. And I'm sure the Stable Diffusion results would have been good. If it hadn't buggered up. Well, I've told Angus, the owner, so see if he gets on it. That's a shame. Right, I'm going to steal this prompt and go into Midjourney for a bit then. Is that the one I just did? I think it is. I don't know if you guys use Midjourney or not, but it's pretty mental. I will just go and get some of my old prompts. Let's go to some of my oldest stuff. If you want to see what I'm scanning through. So this is the Midjourney website where it keeps all your stuff. If I go to where does it show you? Oh, archives, what I'm looking for. So I started using Midjourney way back in May. Let's go to the 1st of June and see what's going on there. What were we doing? Oh, that's when I asked Midjourney 90 questions. 100 questions. I just said Midjourney something or other. Midjourney Mellow. Let's see what it comes up with if we just go Midjourney Mellow. This is, you know, this is one of the ones that Midjourney's just so accurate. at the moment. But this is one of the ones that people are saying, yeah, you just type in and you get any result, and you know it's always really good, and yada 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 yada. Which is kind of right, because you can get anything. If I put a full stop in, I think it will give me a default woman. I think it does. And if I put in just total gibberish, it'll also give me a good result. But that's what I like about this, and I'm sure that's why they've done it. It's for people who don't know how to prompt properly. They can, they will always get a result, but then, you know, you just get better at your prompting, you know. So let me see if I can find a decent old prompt. Let's see what we've got and see if we can find something decent to work on. What's that? I used to speak to it all the time. It's good fun asking it weird questions. So what have we got? Nothing yet. Right. So what was that one? That was when I said Midjourney mellow. It's tried to write mellow. They almost look like album covers, don't they? So yeah, it's a nice result, but you know, it's nae good to me, is it? So what's this one? Midjourney, draw yourself as an isometric bee in rainbow colour scheme, 35 mil, blah 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 blah. Right, that's the gibberish that I put in. Wow. They are spectacular. And that's look, that's the prompt. There's some crazy results. But the thing I don't like about that is I don't know why it's doing that. Well, I do know why it's doing it. It's because Midjourney have got background prompt stuff goes on. So basically, if it can't find anything, it just uses whatever they've told it to use, I think, and create whatever. But here's a question for it. What if I do that, some snow, and a clock? So what's that? A smiley face sticking its tongue out, snow, and a clock. Will it make anything of it? These I love. They're great. However, are they as good as the old ones? These ones, I kind of prefer them, and that's. But the great thing about Midjourney, similar to Nightcafe, is if I just go settings, I can change. At the moment, I'm on version 4. I can use version 3.2.1, and I can add all of these other bits and bobs in. I don't really like using the high quality one. I'll leave it at that. But I can remix it. I'll just remix that. Now look at, where is these other ones? You know, what was that? What was the prompt for that? Oh, that's the prompt for that was a full stop. You know, that the artwork it's came up with is superb. However, it's completely random and completely pointless. You know, why is it giving me fish? What is it? What does it think the full stop is? I've not got a clue, really. I don't really know what it's up to. It's a bit weird. Right, now that's interesting. Sticky out face. So it's got a face, it's got snow. Is there a clock anywhere? Any indication of time? Not really. But it's weird how it's giving you that stuff, right? It's weird. It's just random, isn't it, really? But I could work with that. You know, that's a Christmas card or something. You know, it's a cool Christmas image. That one there's brilliant. I think that's fantastic. But when you get more specific, well, it's specific here, isn't it? Draw yourself as an isometric being, rainbow colour scheme. Okay, it's not got the misty surroundings and whatnot, but it's not bad, and they're pretty interesting. Let's go for what can we do? What can we do that's specific? Let's go for let's use. I've got a manga book here. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, and I'm going to have to finish shortly because it's Yamamoto Otomo, that's it. Katsuhiro Otomo. So if I come in here and go art by highly intricate concept car, mystical colouring, astral, depth of field. Depth of field, in natural surroundings. The surroundings got 2 R's. In natural surroundings, surrounded by nature. Surrounded by nature, and just because I used it earlier, biopunk 16K resolution, leave it at that. So I'm at that, you know, what I'm asking for there is pretty specific. Let's see if it gives me or not. And I can also, just for a comparison, well, I say a comparison. Have I got an answer yet? No, sadly. I can't see that bloody thing. Is this sorted itself? No, that's disappointing. Right, we'll go for this time. Bad wheels. Oh no, because I don't think it's doing it with multiple, so we'll just leave it. But I will jazz it up with this stuff. So I want a widescreen. I'm going to randomise the prompt. I'm going to tell it I want 80% accuracy on the prompt. I'll go to 2.1768 for a wider perspective or image, and I'm going to use fast clip guidance, and I'm going to put it up. What jumped that up? What's that at? 32 credits. Wonder why it went to low res. Has that got something to do? Oh, maybe it was just, okay, it doesn't matter, does it? Right, let's see what happens. Now that was a big spend, that one, a 32 creditor. Let's see what Midjourney's came up with. My God. Right, what have we got here? So, highly intricate concept car. That's pretty intricate. Mystical colouring. Okay, so I guess that's kind of mystical. Astral. Maybe that's kind of astral, spacey. Depth of field, yeah, we've definitely got that. Natural surroundings, yep. Surrounded by nature, yep. Biopunk, yep. 16K resolution, right? It's not bad, but it's not really what I was wanting. But that was just really an experiment to show you how much it actually does. So let's remove biopunk and surrounded by nature. And I'll just leave that in there. Yeah, let's see what happens with that. Right, what is Stable Diffusion giving us? Well, exactly what we asked for. These, I don't know what you would call it. Is it more stylistic than, you know, that is pretty cool. Is it more stylistic than what Midjourney's showing us? You know, it's given us, I don't know about there being much of that, although that could kind of equate to the shape of that car, maybe. But, you know, there's some pretty wicked results in there. Some pretty funny ones. Yeah, it's interesting, man. There's even a bloke there, look. But it's given us pretty much everything we asked for. It's clearly overkill. So let's remove... I just want to see if it gives us what kind of results it gives us. Right, I'll just leave it as it is. Nah, I'm not going to bother with another 32 hour. Know that I've not got the credits, but it's just a waste. Right, what have we got this time? Not as much nature. Really? Is there that much? Is it that different? It's not that different, is it? So in natural surroundings, definitely doing something. But I love the ideas, the concepts, and of course with Midjourney, I can go, right, what one do we like? Let's see. I like that one because it's got the moon in it, so I'm going to go various and 2, and now I can readjust. The prompt. So I am now also going to add highly intricate Akira concept car, mystical Akira colouring. I'm just going to try and bring that out, and I'm going to go 16K resolution Unreal Engine just for the crack, and I will go Chaos 75, goes up to 100, Chaos aspect ratio 2:3, because you've only got 2:3 and 3:2 in V4 at the moment. See what happens. And we'll go back to... Right, it's... yeah. So, the Stable Diffusion V2.1 is pretty cool, but it's far out, man. Like, that's wicked, that is. Look at... Hey. But yeah, so very different results. But I love them all. I just think, yeah, it's just so imaginative, and you can really have some great fun with it. These ones, they're not as good as that one's pretty cool. I might and I'm going to up that to ×4. Let's see what Midjourney done. Wow, so maybe they are cool, I have to say, but maybe I made a mistake by that. I can never tell what weighs what. I'm not a... So try 3, 2, see what that comes up with, and then we can come back over here. Still, it's not upscaled yet, but that's going to look pretty cool when it's upscaled. So yeah, because there's clearly a problem with Nightcafe at the moment, I can't really go into the stuff that I wanted to go into, really. So unless anybody's got any questions, I'm going to call it a day on this. Once these are finished. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty neat, that is. I think that's pretty cool. That's upscaled, I think. Yeah. And the Midjourney. It's different class, isn't it? It's trying to write Akira there. But it's got a bit... I wonder what's done that then. It's lost the... I wonder if I do it without the chaos. Oh, it's because it's not finished. It's almost finished. Let's see what it looks like. These are interesting as well, I have to say. They're a bit, you can't really do much with them. They're just interesting, I suppose. But these are pretty cool. Oh yes, that's nice. Shame that's red. It would be nice if that was black or something. But this is very Akira. Very Akira. And so is this. And I'm sure you all know what Akira is, so there's no point, there's no need for me to show you. But yeah, pretty wicked. And I'll do one more. How long have I been talking nonsense for? An hour and 12 minutes. Well, I'm not going to go any further than an hour and a half. So I'll go for another bit. I'll take the chaos away. I'll take Unreal Engine away. And I might change that to V-Ray. And if you know me, you know I like doing weird stuff. So I'm going to go and HR Geiger. That should add some real randomness into the outcome of that. Yeah, that's pretty disappointing. It's a shame, really. So I'm afraid for the rest of this video we're going to be sticking with Midjourney. I've done loads with Midjourney. I work with it all the time for very specific things. Some techno heads there. I think I was doing some musicians hooked into analog synthesizers earlier. I need to work on because it just they look more like a scientist than a musician there, really. That was supposed to be for... I done loads for complex PTSD before stable... No, just when the original stable was in, and I got a lot better, so I was just testing it earlier. It's crap results, really. Got some nice demons. Something for a friend of mine. Some weird stuff. That's pretty spooky. It's like more kind of complex PTSD based stuff. Some trolls I was doing. I watched the movie Troll last night on Netflix. What a pile of pish. But it gave me some ideas. So I was looking at some trolls last night. Got some not bad results. What happened there? And I always do Buddhist stuff. I don't know why it shot away up there. Right, what do we get? Nice. Again, nice results. And the thing I like, you can remix them, you can do all kinds of stuff. So let's say I like that Akira one. We'll get more versions of that. And I am going to pop in and HR Geiger. And I wonder... I'm going to take Akira colouring out of there. No, Akira powder paints. Let's see what it does. I get some really nice results with the powder paint thing modifier or stylistic example. Now I'll show you something just in case you don't know about it. If you want practice for writing your prompts, if you go here, where is it? I've got loads of prompt writers. This one's the best. If you go there, So let's say we want to write a Midjourney prompt for Akira, let's say. So just click in there. We're not going to add an image, so we'll go add your first subject. So we'll go Akira motor bike race, and we'll pop in Tokyo City, and then you come down here and you can pick base image for styles and whatnot. I'm going to put it on a landscape, and then this gets really cool. So add some details. What art medium do we want it to be? I'm going to go for pastels and chalk, and we'll go pastel art. Click there, and then paint. What do we want it to be? Have a look. Street art, why not? And you can go through all of these. There's loads of mad stuff you can do. Hyper shapes, so you can get it to go all weird shaped. Let's do that. Intangibles, so emotions and whatnot. Let's give it I like happy, as in a thing. I try to stay. I only do my dark stuff when I'm feeling dark, when I'm not in a good place. It helps me. That's why I've got I made a mental health Discord. I'm not going to go with any of those. See, with this, it's very easy just to like say, yeah, I want some of that, want some of that, want some of that. Which, okay, I suppose. Hi, Jeffrey. The run times. Let me just make sure I'm on the same page as yourself. I assume we're talking about this, right? If we are, I never do. I very seldom do long. I will if I want to. In some instances, especially for things like stuff that's really detailed, but you can notice the details got a bit. What's the word? It's not pixelated. You can just tell that the detail's not as crisp as it should be. I would use that, but I normally, if I want a marked increase in the quality of an image that I'm using, I'll use medium and I'll bump it up to low res. It does add quite a bit onto your overall output. Well, in fact, that with Stable Diffusion, it's not really that. It's an additional 2 credits. Because that's 4 credits in total now. So that adds 2 and that adds 2. I tend to go there normally only when I found something I really like. I don't know if I've got anything in here. I've probably used longer settings. Runtime medium here because I wanted to clean it up a bit. And normally what I'll do is if let's see if I can show you on one of these maybe. Right, let me just run this as is, but just as one image. I'll just run that. Let me just go and see what my Midjourney's done. So what did I do? So yeah, I think I picked that one, didn't I? So did I get, yeah, I got varieties of that one, and I made a few changes. Yeah, you can see it there. So what's happened there is, because I've added because I added HR Geiger, it's gone a bit mental. But yeah, Jeffrey, yeah, you can stay in whatever you want. Normally, when I'm if I do when I'm just messing around, I'll just stay in something really low. Now, did I up that? What is that? I did. I upped it. No, it was at medium already. Of course it was. So, but you can see it's not bitty. It's not kind of weird. Thanks, Jeffrey. I do. I've got a website as well. Crap, what's it called again? Oh yeah. I need to update it a bit, but I've got my programmable art on there as well, which is another thing altogether. But there's loads of stuff on there that I've done. I need to kind of update it, to be fair. I put free art and stuff on there, loads of stuff. But yeah, thanks, I appreciate it. So yeah, there's just so much, and I love how this has done this. To me, it's done what I've asked it. Because I put Geiger in there, it's made it that bit weirder. Look, pisses me off when it does that, but it's easy to fix. So if I like 2, I'm just going to upscale 2 now. But yeah, and then see, that's because of the medium, that's already quite high quality. So if I want to up that, let's say to there, it should look pretty good. But my rule of thumb is I don't change anything. I normally don't use any. I don't. Right, okay, I'll put it to Stable Diffusion 2.1 or 1.5 depending, but I won't use any clip guidance, I won't change the sampling method, I won't change the overall prompt weight, and I won't change the runtime and the thumbnail. I won't change any of those until I come across something I like. And then I will move over and I'll think, right, okay, that one's good. And that's why I always use 16 images as well. So it's 4 credits. So if I go to 4, it's only another 3 credits for four times as many images, and the 4 times as many images just gives you so much more stuff to work with. In my opinion, if unless you're really struggling and you've only got the 3 credits, then fair enough. But you always get more. Options, basically, always. I don't upscale to max in here because I use this. When I want really big upscales, I use gigapixels, gigapixel from Topaz AI. I use this because I can get it up to, ridiculous amounts, absolutely ridiculous amounts. My favourite sampling happens to be Hewn or Hewn, whatever, but only because of when I done the tests it was that. But I've not tested all these new ones. I've not tested DP, MPP, 2M, not tested those two, and I've not tested those two. But normally that's my favourite. But it was until clip guidance came along, and then I use fast clip guidance normally when I'm upgrading my images. How are we doing in here? Right, so that's a beast. That's pretty good. So now that I've done that in Midjourney, I can remaster it, which I'll do, and I can upscale them in different ways, or I can make even more variations, so we'll do that as well. And I'll show you what a light upscale does. and what a detailed upscale does, and then that's me for the night. Luckily for me, I've got, so another cool thing about Midjourney, so I pay $30. Oh shit, that's the wrong thing. Info. I pay $30 a month for 15 hours of fast time. So I've used about 2.5 hours, and I've generated, I'll just show you what I've generated since I got it 2 days ago or something. Home. So everything I'm about to show you is what I've generated in Midjourney in 2 days. So all of these, all of this. Come on. It's been a bit weird. Come on, where's the rest of them? Okay, I don't. Probably well over 1,000 images, and you can. So I've got it on fast at the minute, just so you can see the results. But you can change it to relax mode, and it doesn't use your image. It doesn't use your total. So so what is this? What have we got here? So here's the variations that it gave me. Pretty wicked. And it must be doing the other stuff in the background still. Info will tell me jobs 0. I thought I told it to upscale to the max. What's it saying here? Right, it's upscaling now. Oh no, it did do one upscale. I've just upscaled it twice. So that's an upscale. That is an upscale, beta upscale redo, I think, and it can screw your picture up. But yeah, there's loads of stuff. See, it's not as good as that one. But yeah, it's cool. That nice. But yeah, sorry that kind of Stable Diffusion kind of screwed up on Nightcafe, which meant I couldn't really do what I wanted to do. It's a bit of a bummer, really. But yeah, I don't know, Jeffrey. Are you an artist or just AI, or what? What's your deal? Not that you're not an artist if you use AI. I'm not one of those arseholes, but a traditional artist is what I mean. Yeah, and I do crazy stuff like this as well, just for the crack. 16K resolution, depth of field, intricate detail, powder paint, watercolor, awesome, that'll do it. Digital NC user, digital collage, fine artist, multimedia. Sweet. I would like, until February, I'd never done anything. I got right into drawing when I was about 13, which was like 37 years ago. And I didn't get any support or anything because of where I stayed, and people weren't into that kind of shit, and other bits and bobs. So I kind of fell away from it. And then when I found this, I was delighted. When I found Nightcafe, I was like, oh man, I can get all this stuff out all of these crazy things that are going off in my field. You're working on new electronic music. I'm a music producer, have been for 25 years. I produce psytrance, techno, drum and bass. I'm getting into melodic D&B at the minute, and I also produce music that's just a mixture of everything I've learned over the last 25 years, I guess. Right, it's showing more of my images now. So all of these images I've done in the last 3 days. On Midjourney, and I've only used 2.5 hours of my fast time. These are awesome. Because when you use relax mode, if you've paid 30 quid a month, it doesn't take away your hours. The one shitty thing about that is if you forget to use your hours, they don't get renewed when you go from month to month, so you can lose loads of stuff. So yeah, I done all of this stuff. I was watching The Dark Crystal. I decided to do some gelflings. Pretty cool stuff. I was doing some dark kind of alien spaceships. Some nice spacescapes. Weird spaceships. More gelflings. My girlfriend. Some Chinese men. I done somebody's into oh god, what's it called? Bounce music. It's like happy hardcore, and she wanted me to do some images for it, so I came up with these. Pretty cool, I thought. Pretty funny. Good fun. That's a cracker. So is that. Gone are those days. I remember back in 1988-89 when Acid House had first hit London and stuff. I was there. It was so good. But yeah, enough of that drivel. But yeah, all of these images, I can't... how far back? Some of these are awesome as well. Where did I start? Where was it? Where was it? Oh my god. I think it might have been from here. So from here up is everything I've done in the last 2 days. I was doing some work on I was doing some stuff for the Never Ending Story, but jazzing it up. Almost like a Never Ending Story 2. So you have to be pretty old to know what Never Ending Story is. So this is me. That was me messing around with the Never Ending Story, using Tim Burton as an aesthetic to get some cool images for that. I'm 51 myself in like 3 months. But yeah, I make loads of stuff, man. I just can't stop. I'm just super addicted. And Midjourney at the moment is probably number one for giving you what you're looking for. You know, you just type what you want and then that's it. It's trying to help someone create a car with spherical wheels. It wasn't easy. It was pretty hard. And these I was drawing. I was doing some stuff for this techno track that I'm doing. These are going to be something similar, something like those for the release cover. Something weird, something like that probably. And that was when I started designing my girlfriend's tattoo. I'd done hundreds of them. And of course, I'm always designing new Mac hatters. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop. I was trying to design, where else? What was I doing here? I'm going to get some Alice in Wonderland tattoos, so I thought I'd design them on parts of the body first. You can do that, Luftig. You can. I've done it. I think maybe even I've done a video on that. Even in like I to say that I'm a shit drawer doesn't cover it. I am like worse than shit. Um, but even in paint, you can draw like a square that looks like a house and a path and a tree at the side, stick trees, like a sheep-shaped cloud, and then use that as a start image and put a prompt in, something like a beautiful prairie house with a lovely picket fence with oak trees at the side and a beautiful blue sky with fantastic white clouds, and it does it. It does it, you know. So if you've even got a semblance of being able to draw, and you'll get great results. And I'll tell you another good thing about doing that as well. I do it with photos, just to piss some people off. When you get these people that seem to kind of crawl out of the woodwork every now and again, and they're saying, yeah, AI art isn't art, you've stole this, you've stole that, blah, 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 blah. I love showing them something where I've gone into my local woodland here, I've taken a photo of a tree with loads of moss on it, I've imported that as a start image, I've not used any artist names or any artist styles, I've just written something like a fairy village, growing out of a tree, and it's done it, and it's got all the wee houses on the tree with the moss going through the houses and stuff, and then show them that, and they're like, oh, that's whatchamacallum's style, and yeah, it's theft, and then you say, by the way, mate, this is the prompt. There's no kind of nothing else, there's no artists or styles or anything on there. And you say, and it's the starter image was a photograph I took in my local wood. So tell me what I stole again. Tell me what I used to kind of break copyright, and they shut up pretty sharpish. But yeah, so I'm currently trying to design some tattoos with Midjourney for Alice in Wonderland. I'm not quite there yet. I'm not quite happy with them yet. And for some reason, Absalom, the character, the caterpillar, he's the hardest to do. I don't know why. Can't figure it out. But yeah, so I was getting weird results like this. But I'm gonna use it to design my next tattoo. So getting some pretty wicked results. But yeah, this is like a less than flattering image of my girlfriend that I made all weird. She wasn't happy, like. And yeah, this is my favourite one. That's probably going to be the cover of my next techno track. The EP art will probably be something like that. Some of this stuff. Not sure what one yet, because I've got like a lot of really cool ones. But anyway, I think that's me, man. I've done like an hour and 40 minutes, and YouTube has a fit when I upload an hour and 40 minutes worth of stuff. But yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't show you everything on Nightcafe, because Nightcafe went tits up. I don't quite know what happened there. It's probably got something to do with the new implementation of the stable Diffusion 2.1 API. There'll be something wrong with it, but they'll get on it, I'm sure, and get it fixed. I'll put a poll on YouTube, because if you guys want me to do stuff regularly, because I just basically come on and talk shit for as long as I can be bothered. I don't really have any rhyme or reason or any purpose. So yeah, I'll put a poll in, and if you want me to do stuff more specific and stuff, I will. Good old Darth Vader. But yeah, that's me, guys. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate you joining in, asking some questions and whatnot. It's kind of 8:15 here for me, so whatever you guys are up to for the rest of the day, I hope you have a good one. And please do ask any questions. I'm in the Nightcafe Discord. I've got my own Discord as well, but it's kind of aimed at mental health, but you're welcome to join it. Matt Carter's Tea Party. But yeah, all the best, take it easy, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, Luftich and Jeffrey, for all your questions. I appreciate it. Cheers.